aim and stuff, but it doesn't explain for everything. Sometimes, not in this game, but in some of my games, I was I wasn't I wasn't in the best situation of for like nading enemies. I think in the past and like in a few like last time I got some coaching, I was told that I wasn't aggressive enough, and I think I fixed that. Maybe sometimes I'm a bit over aggressive, but
Right.
to be fair, I'm a bit at loss as to what is happening because honestly, there's like I'm getting like really unwinnable games, but that happens to everyone. But I'm not having any winnable games, like easy wins. All the wins that I'm getting now are really hard fought. Like, and I feel like Diamond Four is really not my rank, and I'm having trouble with the people around me, not following my calls and stuff. Because I do call out in games.
Yeah. So what actually is your current rank right now, and what's your peak?
My peak is Master Three
Okay.
and uh, and Diamond Four right now.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how this pans out. Usually, what I say to players who are on loss streaks, or again, as you kind of said, right, like no free or no easy wins. What I usually say is either, I mean, when we watch this game, I'm sure there's going to be stuff to talk about, especially if they're sticking on this Diva Genji Sombra comp, which is not particularly fun to play Ana into, especially if you're not running a Brig player alongside you. But also, when you're on a loss streak, there's a thing called law of averages. I'm not sure if you know what the term or the thing is, but basically, over a very long, prolonged period of time, you will get back-to-back matches over and over again where you'll lose for no reason that's your own. Like you'll just lose because of the lobby or because of your teammates or something external, right? And over the long run, you will get those free wins back. So you'll again, I'm not saying after you go for a loss streak, you're gonna get a win streak of 3 wins, but over a long period of time, you might not notice. You'll get those free wins back over time. Obviously, the caveat there is that's assuming you're not at the fault for losing these games, which,
Right.
yeah, which obviously is a sometimes it might not be the case, but we'll see how it pans out here. And yeah, already something interesting comp to play against. If they are gonna stick on that, yeah, although they are gonna stick on that comp. Speaking of that comp, what do you obviously first part you don't know that they're running this, right? But how would you change your play style on Ana on that comp or against that comp?
I would I would be very selective on my nades because of the diva. I would maybe try to basically they're playing dive on me, right? I mean they're playing
Right,
they've got at least three very divey characters. So I would keep my nade for them and my sleeps for them more than trying to get in the diva. But I mean you'll see in the game, I wasn't really dove on as aggressively. The Sombra kind of sucked and died very quickly most of the times.
right.
So I didn't do that in this game, but if I do feel like I'm getting dove on, I would use my cooldowns for me defensively.
Right. So there's a lot. There's obviously that's part of the micro, right? Of course, you probably want to use your cooldowns a lot more if they are running a highly mobile comp and you're going to be the main target. That's fairly reasonable. But what I usually tell players when they're playing against dive is you're on paper. Again, you kind of mentioned there's numbers bad at the game, but on paper, if this person gets in a good position, if this person gets in a good position, this person too, and to a lesser extent, this person as well, you're going to die no matter how if you use
Yeah,
your cooldowns on yourself, especially if you're running double flexes too. So usually there's
I,
one of
I
two
I would
things.
go brig honestly. If I had any trouble, I would go
Right.
brig.
Going brick here would be reasonable, right? But usually what I say, if you can't, because you can't never good dive. If again they get in their good positions. So what I usually say is you need to prevent them from getting into good positions or disrupt their staging in some kind of shape or form. So actually, maybe even again, maybe communication wise, this could be a little bit different compared to team play versus ranked and whatnot, right? But there are some cases where I could definitely see you using nade early, maybe to force this guy out, if he's on taking his own angle, because
Mm.
again, he's never going to dive you if he's half HP with no deflect. That's never going to happen, and you're never going to get dove if that's the case. And then
Yeah,
of course you can live over time.
One thing I noticed like this morning playing, well, this afternoon really, playing was I find myself nading the tank a lot, but nothing happens after that, and I'm wondering if actually nading a tank in nowadays is actually a good thing.
Yeah,
It
so
creates space. It creates space, but yeah.
it depends. I mean, I hate saying. I mean, I always whenever someone asks me the question, the answer 9 times out of 10 is it depends, which sucks because it's a very vague answer. But nading a tank can be fine. It just depends what your team's doing. Right? If your Reinhardt is walking forward and swinging on a diva, and she's not looking at you, or you're on a good angle, or whatever the case may be, and you want to nade the tank, sure, I don't really mind that. You'll get space for it. You'll get not just some space for it. You'll get a ton of space for it. And you're gonna get if a diva's half HP with no boosters, she's not gonna dive you. Like that's never gonna happen. If she does, she's gonna feed. So it depends on what contextually your team is doing as well. Not just oh hey, nading XYZ character is bad or good. It's more nuanced than that, based on your aggression really. But we'll see how this pans out. And yeah, all right, get it up here. Okay. Alright.
So here I hear the Sombra, and I'm saying that there's Sombra on the left.
Fine, yeah. Sure, keeps fine. Okay. So, where can you maybe move to? So far, actually fairly reasonable. Where can you, but after you kill Sombra, and Diva gets left, and you fuel for your team, you see your team's okay right now, where might you want to move to?
It's hard to see, but I think I have a nade, right?
Yeah.
If I have a nade, I would actually like go for broke and go left and try to nade behind them.
Exactly, right? So this is I like I'll give this framework now actually because it might again the applicability of it depends on how competent their dive comp is. But I have a framework called SPAR, which stands for Scout, Prevent, Absorb, and then Rotate. This is a framework I use whenever I coach ranged comps into divier comps. General rule of thumb. Obviously, scouting is not really your job as Ana, so that can get rid of that for now. These are the three most important stages, though. The prevent stage I kind of again mentioned earlier, where you're not going to live a good dive, and frankly, your entire comp is actually built for prevention. Right? You're running double hit scan, and double flex as well, so you're not really looking to absorb dives at all. Of course, you can use nades on yourself, right? But a stage that people forget is after you live a dive, which you have, right? This person's dead. You're Ryan shielding right now. Your BAP has just lamp, and the diva's not in any sort of danger to you or your team right now. Now you need to rotate and walk forward and look for a different position. And the reason why I have this sort of template is because usually whenever I give it to players, they can visually map out almost like a mental template of where they are in the fights. Because I guarantee you, had you recognized that, hey, me and my team are relatively fine right now. I can see everyone. My team's okay. We killed one person. Diva's again forward down here. I can look for not even necessarily a nade, right? But just an angle here to try and get some good damage off of. I'll get some good damage off.
To be honest, I was gonna do that, but I was so weirded out by my Ryan looking at me and moving forward towards me. And I'm like, is he the enemy? I literally like, okay, but then I turn. I'm like, okay, just move forward, guys. And actually, I don't know if I end up going left, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's a slight, of course, the dive gets really, really scuffed, and the rest of your team do end up pushing out the flankers and whatnot. It's something that I'm getting is going to be something I'm heavily looking for, especially if you're able to live a diva Genji Sombra dive. But yeah. Obviously, the nade timing there, not ideal, right? Of course, just react to... I'm not going to say just react to Diva Matrix, because obviously if you're far away, you can eat the nade anyways, and it's really hard to time it. So of course, like, whenever you're far away, try and close the distance, and then of course the Diva's flying away right now, as she is, or you're a little bit closer, so you're able to, like, get nades off in between her Matrix, then you can go for the nade there. But yeah. Okay. Get up a little bit. Okay. I'm not gonna cry about that sleep dot too much.
No, I mean, for me the fight is over.
I'm not gonna
trying to get stacked.
Fine. Okay. Sure. Not much you can do about soldier there. He's anti there. Okay. Okay, sure. Fine. Fine. Okay. Okay. Did nothing crazy there. Of course, you just sleeped onto the diva, but your Bap's probably gonna die there regardless. Nate there was reasonable. I haven't got complaints, and you're constantly moving backwards, which is also fine as well. I want to watch some third person in case I can see where you might want to play pre-fights after your soldier dies. Okay. So maybe a small thing was like just standing here instead of again rotating to open space a little bit closer, and then maybe looking for an angle here to disrupt anyone staging from top left. Barring that, nothing crazy. Why do you actually
I,
move from?
I didn't. Yeah, because basically I tried. I saw the divas on the left, and I saw that my team is all the way there, and I don't like. I don't have a sleep. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go left and lose sight of my team and be like be doved on. So I thought about going right because that would give me a better angle on the team on the enemy team, so I can do damage and a
Right.
bit of heals as well.
Right. Because the thing right now is, after you lose your soldier, they're probably going to stage a dive onto you, or they're probably going to dive you anytime soon. Right now, so actually walking forward again. I'm not gonna cry about this too much if you see your team walking forward is here as well, because obviously you don't want to get too split here. But having at least some kind of LOS to your backline would again allow you to help your backline, or not putting yourself at direct danger. There's often a term that gets thrown around a lot, even by me and some other coaches, called baiting, which is where uh, your backline, so your Baptiste and your Ash play distance while your frontline push up, and baiting just means that you're teasing the enemy team to engage onto you, and their engagement isn't actually that dangerous or isn't actually that threatening because you're playing so far away. Of course, a nice bait here would be you play here, maybe your bat plays here, you just kite away from bot, maybe your Ryan can stay here, and then the second they dive you, your Ryan pins back, and then the Genji dies, or the Diva dies, or whoever the case may be. But yeah, it's something that I want to, I guess, bring up, because at least keeping distance is important, and again, you want to have that balance of, again, being able to see an angle and do damage, but also making sure you're not playing too close, because the
But
second that,
how?
yeah,
Sorry, but how would it be baiting if I go left? I mean, why is it a better idea to
I
go left?
so it's just something that I was potentially bringing up, not something that's like you have to do this. I'm just saying stay here to keep distance, right? And then again, depending on where they're playing, or you feel like it's safe enough, then sure you can peek left side and do damage. Depending on where your team is playing, right? Obviously, I wouldn't do it in this situation here or in this freeze frame because Div is fairly close, and you'd be LOSing at your Baptiste, right? But something that again I would bring up again if their Div is like playing like around here, for example, then it's something that you can do, right? Because the Div is far away, but yeah, that's the point here being is that I want you to play distance is kind of the point here. So you're more easily able to absorb the dive. But yeah, because if I play it here, not that I would have made any big massive change. How the spike finds out, and yeah, your team, you still actually that pretty much goes almost exactly how it kind of should have been. Your iron pins back, you kite back in time, someone dies. But yeah, because you're running double flex and you already won down, it becomes a tough fight to win. But yeah. Only other thing I'd say here, let me look at this, like, yeah. Okay. Okay. I actually don't fully mind using the sleep dot here. Not just because Diva's not matrixing, obviously, right? But it's partially because she's also boosting onto your Baptiste, so there's a high amount of aggression there, so I don't fully mind you using the sleep dot there. There's something to keep in mind of her movement, but nothing crazy.
Yeah, I
Okay?
was basically trying to save the BAP. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, okay, next fight. Let's... Sure. Fine. Oh. Okay, so talk to me about that nade.
Yeah, that was a bit of a scuff. I mean, I saw people on the payload there. I saw 3-4, and I wanted to get it in the space between the robot and the pillar there. I don't know if I hit anyone actually in the end. But,
Yeah, no. So like, of course, like I think this is a thing where you just see red targets and you start pressing buttons. Obviously, even if you like, again in this situation here, you still might get a kill with D.Va, but by principle, right? Like even if you get a 3-man anti or a 4-man anti, whatever the case may be, it's unlikely that your team's going to follow up and get a kill, right? Of course, D.Va's half HP and in a baby form right now, but by principle, it's unlikely to happen, and you're way more likely to obviously get a kill if your Zyra's already on points, or your Cass was taking an angle, or anyone else was doing anything. It's mistimed data.
Okay.
Okay. Casey Sombra. Sure. Okay.
I mean, there are 2 on her. I'm like moving. I don't care.
Right. So, I knew this was going to be a thing that I had to mention it eventually. So, usually when you see a flanker, and this has actually been true for the past 2 fights that we've seen, you can either out-rotate or clear them. Now, for the past 2 fights, you've done the clear option. Mainly because the Sombra's been bad, and she's bad at the game, so you can clear her and kill her, right? So fairly easy. But often a lot of the time, in this fight here, when you see Sombra, it's not that obvious, because she's far away, so she's less clearable, and she's not in open space, unlike the previous 2 times, she's playing close to the cover here. It becomes hard to clear. Now, initially what you did, I thought was reasonable. Okay, you know what? I can't clear the Sombra. If I walk forward here, I'm going to die, and I'm going to feed, right? I can't clear Sombra by myself. I'm going to out-rotate her and move to a different position. That's fine. Now, when you see your cast move over here, how would you rate the chances of you clearing this angle?
Pretty high. So I wanted to go with the Cass, but then I saw the BAP going with the Cass.
So what, you thought that you'd be leaving your Zarya alone or something?
Exactly. So I'm like they're gonna clear her, so they don't need me. We will be 3-on-1 basically. I didn't even see the Lucio there, but they would be 3-on-1. It would be an overkill. So I don't want to leave my Zarya alone versus the whole of the enemy team.
Right.
Just to clear it.
Are you able to help your Zarya while you're moving here?
Yes, yes. I mean, not as easily. No, I mean, if depending on where she goes.
Right. So I guess my thing here is like there's 2 things. You can help your Zarya while you can clear the Sombra or the Lucio, right? They're not mutually exclusive ideas. I think people often forget that you can rotate and do something at the same time. Obviously, if there was a wall here, right? Let's say magically there was some magic wall here, then maybe saying it is reasonable. Right? I think that's fine to do. You don't want to LOS your Zarya, I think that's fine, right? But obviously here you can still have LOS to your Zarya. And more importantly as well, which leads into the second point, you can control this high ground and get an insane angle on the enemy team here. Whereas, of course, back here, you can't really, like, get amazing nades. Whereas, of course, had you been here, or if you can get to this angle and clear it, then you get a really good, obviously, nade angle. So, for those 2 reasons, I guess, not even I guess, but I know that going here is the correct option. And I think when you see your cast walk over here, I'd be like, okay, let me just double check that my Zarya is okay, and then I can walk forward a little bit more, right? But yeah, it's not something that's in what do you call it? It's in Brig Juno comps, in Brig BAP comps, in Lucio BAP comps. It's something that's pretty important to do, is i.e. rotate as one. But yeah, it's for this reason here where you can still see your Zarya. Like I would absolutely rotate with your casts.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. So here
you see here. I'm checking if they're gonna be fine. I know they're gonna be fine. I just move.
Right. Okay. Okay. So there's also I guess a third benefit of going high ground here, which is it's a little bit more costly for Genji and D.Va to go onto, because obviously you've got high ground here to use.
High ground, yeah.
Exactly right. So yeah, now the second I look at this Genji, I'm like, oh shit, this looks very scary to me. And after you use the sleep dart here, which is again a little bit of a late reaction, maybe we'll talk about how else you can rotate here in a second, right? But the second I see that sleep dart and this Genji goes onto you, like you're slightly split from your Baptiste a little bit. Of course here you'd be a lot safer. It's just like this high ground just gives you so many benefits, right? You're with your Baptiste, so you've got direct LOS. You've got a better angle to use, and you're safer, not just because of your Baptiste, right? But because of the high ground here too, right? And you can still see your Zarya. Like there's no downside to playing here, And I think you sort of greed the angle. Or do you
Yeah,
want to go
in my
alone?
mind, it's a bit of a walk to get to there, because like when you're on the bridge, fine, right? But it's like you can see the Zarya, you can see everyone, but when you're to get to that terrace there, it takes a bit of time. You know what I mean? Like just up there where you have the green door on top.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get what you mean, right? Again, I don't think the downtime of you going from point A
Is
to
not crazy, yeah.
point B is not crazy, right? Again, you got a little bit of uptime here as well, so it's like not that insane. Um, but yeah, and of course, you, yeah, whatever the case may be. Now, sure, right? You don't take high ground, whatever the case may be, that's okay, right? Whatever. Where should you move to? And around about here.
Should I should either go forward or take the an angle on the right next to the robot, I think.
Right. Why is the angle to the right here a little bit more favorable?
It's a little more favorable because I have clear line of sight of everyone, of the enemy and my Zarya
Right.
in the same axis. Why I was thinking of flanking left is just for the nade because of the Zarya, the Diva matrix.
Right. And I think that's all like fairly reasonable actually. I think the right side angle is more so again you're out rotating the Genji and Diva to put it lightly, right? Because you going forward here, especially after mech comes back, and I think right about now, like I think after you see the mech, Diva gets remech, I'm like, okay, I need distance right now because Genji's still alive, Diva's just gone back into mech. I can't just walk forward freely and greed the nade or get some insane greed value right now. You need to keep distance and make sure you clear your angles before you can actually, again, rotate forward and start looking for nade value. Or your own value on your angle here. This looks scary. Going to the Genji here. Thankfully, I think it's, yeah, fine, right? But you get to create HP there, Lamp gets invested, right? It still gets scary and you still almost get traded in a 3v5 from their perspective. Just something that I always say to players is, mainly on main support actually, but making sure you clear your angles before you walk, or making sure that but if you were looking to get aggressive value, like again, whether that's nade or your own angle damage, doing damage on your own angle, you need to make sure that the enemy flankers are directly in front of you, rather than again surrounding you from different angles. And again, having distance there would have been quite nice. But yeah, okay, we'll see here. All right, even just feeding, sure, or whatever. That kills your cast somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. And nano there, she invests boosters. You get the kill very quickly. Sure, you swing the fights. Fine. I don't hate the nano the booster. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. There's nothing much you can do against the Null Blade there, they just pop it mid-fight. I think that's fine, we're losing this fight to Null Blade, that's okay. Nothing crazy. I think the only maybe thing I can maybe say here is rotating with your Sim TP after your BAP goes. As soon as your BAP goes, maybe consider, again, going back to a TP, just so you're not split, and again, you can, for a similar reason to taking the same angle with your BAP casts. Yeah.
Would you take the TP, because I have no idea where the enemy is. I was like, just didn't feel comfortable taking the TP.
Yeah, you could feel that it's too dangerous to take, but Diva's spawn right now, and you've got a Sim and a BAP there with you, so I don't think it would be insane to take it. But again, it's a maybe thing. I don't think it's going to change the outcome of this fight. So yeah, nothing crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't really classify you're not taking the TP as a mistake. But yeah.
Okay, that's an alternative.
Yeah, yeah, right, yeah. Okay. Hopefully you win this fight, because you've got all the advantage. Okay. Let's see here. Hang in. Sure, nade's reasonable. Fine. Okay. Okay, sure. See, nothing crazy that fight. You got a really good nade when you cast High Noon. I think rotating right side was relatively fine. Again, you're basically undivable that entire fight, especially afterwards. Again, I'll watch that from third person POV actually. Like, actually, I'll get from your POV again. See if you can walk high ground here again as well. Yeah, right. So maybe it's potentially worth again going high gun here for the same reason I said last time. Maybe again you're a bit scared that your Zarya is gonna blow up because she was half HP when you saw her.
Yeah, and she was calling out for heals as well.
Yeah, okay. So if she's
so I didn't know if she had bubbles or not.
right. So I think if she's directly calling that, I think that's fine to do. Right. But yeah. Okay. Because you can see almost here, it's kind of a little bit hard for you to peek and get any value. Right? You get shot by Ana there, getting a bit by Lucy. Okay. You invest like high noon and that's it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm calling out that there's a Lucio behind, but like to leave him alone because nobody can go kill him.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Oh, and Yasim dies there. I don't think Yasim would have lived there regardless, but fortunate. Okay.
How did she die?
Probably that she died to, so when you peeked here, obviously. Wow, camera.
How?
Yeah.
Like in a fraction of a second.
Soldier damage and
What
Ana
is she
shot
doing?
there as well.
Oh.
Yeah, soldier damage by main and then finishing Ana shot there. But yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a thing like it's really unfortunate because a sim shouldn't die because you're looking at Lucio, right? But like it's kind of a thing.
But I mean she got
Yeah,
one
it's
shot
her fault,
almost,
right? Like it's not. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But yeah. Okay. Hopefully the rest of your team don't blow up your afterwards. Okay. So they will. Visor, at least Visor's been used. That's not terrible. This guy's gonna probably die.
Yeah, I don't try to heal her.
That's fine. That's fine.
Next leave.
Right back. Okay, sure. Okay. So there's a thing about the Winston micro against or the Ana sleep darting against Winston micro. Normally, this is the same thing that kind of applies to whip shot I say here as well. Either you sleep, and this is something that if you're really mechanically competent, you can do. You can try and sleep the Winston while he's jumping in the air, so he bubbles really early and he's not a threat to you, or you just hold onto your sleep dart and he's forced to bubble early because he's scared of your sleep dart. So yeah, either do it really early if you feel like you can hit the sleep, or more likely hold on to it and he's gonna bubble early because he's scared of sleep dart. Instead of again just using it when he wants to. But yeah. So it's like they're like if you're a little bit higher HP, it's more reasonable, right? But of course, if you set a sleep dart there and you're a little bit higher HP, you can literally walk into the bubble, especially after your BAP sim is walking, and then maybe look for a sleep onto the Winston or the soldier who's drastically overextending right now. But yeah. Okay, Winston feeds there. Okay. Let me get that nade again. Why do you need that?
I just wanted to save my Symmetra.
Right. So how do I explain this idea? How much aggression is your sim taking?
Really aggressive. Like, look, she's half HP and she's in front of
right. There
the whole enemy team and she's going in.
Yeah. So this is really important, right? HP isn't always indicative of aggression levels, right? So your sim right now just took a helix, but in reality, there's no actual other aggression from the enemy team that is going onto the sim. Even to put this another way, right? Your soldier could be 1 HP right now, and you wouldn't need to heal her because she's not taking any aggression. She could be in spawn for all I care and be 1 HP, but that doesn't really matter because she's not taking.
I agree, but look at her going in afterwards.
If you see her keep walking in, I think that's maybe fine.
Yeah. Look,
maybe there's a slight peak there, right? But it's like you saw Winston jump you, and I wouldn't be nading that just because it's a Winston afterwards. But a Helix is whatever, right? It's just burst damage, right? Another example would be a Zarya bubbling herself after she took a body shot by Widowmaker, right? It's a burst of aggression, but the bubbles are going to be meaningless because it's not sustained or consistent aggression that you can get over time. Just like how that Helix there was a burst. So I probably would have kept the Ana nade there, and not just use it on the sim. If she was like fully overextending and like walking into Cass, sure, maybe. But I don't know why she would be doing that after she just tanked the Helix. But yeah, and she's not even within good walking distance anyways. But yeah, it's something that I have to, again, try to almost like tell players to disconnect HP from aggression. It's the same thing with Tracer as well. Like you can be full HP on Tracer or Genji, and it doesn't really matter because if you're peeking a Cassidy, you're going to blow up in 1 second, or even an Orisa with Javelin. So you need to again use cover or deflect when you're taking that amount of visual aggro. But yeah. Okay. Like if you like that again there, right? Your BAP got to low HP. He literally got to critical HP there, right? And I know he's de-peaking it, but he can. The aggression isn't sustained. It's not a Winston jumping him that you need to nade him for. But yeah. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Was your BAP calling window here?
Sorry?
Was your BAP calling window here?
No.
Because it looked to me like, again, the rest of you and your team were wanting to walk forward here. And it looked a little bit confusing as to why you dropped high grounds.
I dropped because I saw my BAP going aggressive. I wanted to go aggressive with him because we are up 1 or 2 by then.
Right. Which actually, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You kill the Winston, right? So you want to push your advantage here. I'm just not quite sure if going the same angle as your Baptiste is necessarily the correct play to do. Like, I would have just kept this angle here, and I mean, look at that angle, right? That's like 4 people.
That would have been better, yeah.
Right. And you're, again, as I mentioned earlier, you're safer here as well because of high grounds, and distance as well. So again, unless that's why I kind of asked, is BAP calling window, because maybe you want to be like, you know,
no, but he's playing particularly aggressive, so I kind of followed him.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. I'm not gonna crab that nade too much. I think it's an okay nade.
I needed the
soldier, I think, yeah. Okay.
I did especially because there was the window. But...
Right, yeah. Okay. Okay, Nano's good, nice. Fine. He's reasonable as well. Fortunately didn't hit the Winston. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. I think your position was fine. You had plenty of distance. The way you use your cooldowns was reasonable as well. Nade was reasonable as well. Only small thing is, again, peeking soldier and getting the critical HP while you're scoping a little bit too much. So maybe a quick scope there would have been nicer. But barring that, I think that fight there was pretty well played. And that's kind of the baiting thing I was kind of mentioning, where the Winston just can't reach you. It was just too dangerous for him to reach you in the first place because of how much pressure your frontline is putting up. I'm actually fairly happy with that fight. Nano was also very reasonable too. Yeah, nothing crazy. Okay. Oh, don't tell me your sim dies again. Good. Okay, so this is a fight where the enemy team, you're probably going to lose this next fight, and I don't want to, I guess, be too much of a hindsight Andy, because realistically in your games, especially in Diamond, you're probably not ult tracking. But the only way you're going to win this fight is if you and your team do something extremely chaotic. What I mean by that is you hide in a certain position and try and play it for nade value. But of course, you're probably not ult tracking. You don't see the ults they have. I'm going to see how this fight pans out, because if you stand carts, or even if you bait, you're still probably going to lose the fight anyways, because there's just too many ultimates for you to actually win this fight against. But we'll see. Okay. Obviously you can't go high ground, so it's a bit unfortunate. Sure. So distance here is fine. I've got no issue with this position here at all, really. Okay, sure. Fine. Sure. Fine. Sure. Sure. Okay.
I'm telling them to move forward.
Right, because you're on your own angle. Okay.
I don't know how they don't realize that I'm there.
Yeah, neither. I think my only sort of qualm or issue with this position is you don't rotate away early enough, because obviously you haven't got an escape path here. Whereas again, had you been like here or a little bit here from the get-go, then of course you can just S-key out with your Baptiste. But yeah. It's inadvertently kind of what I wanted in terms of a chaotic fight, but of course you should be scouted here. But like if you wanted to like go for a flank play, especially if you're down ultimates and you've got there's no possible way for you to win a fight, this would actually be more than reasonable to do. I call it chaos fights in team play. But yeah, this inadvertently is kind of what I was imagining. But yeah, not in the way that I thought. Okay. Insane value that fights. Of course, again, I don't know how I don't know how they don't know you're there.
Yeah,
But
that's weird. That
yeah,
was weird. I kind of felt like I had no right to be alive.
right. Obviously, a chaos fight or something you could do it if that's a little bit safer next time. Or I guess when I say safer, I mean in theory they don't know where you are, or you're gonna be unscouted the entire time. Is hiding either here or hiding either again here, letting them push down main, and then obviously flanking around and looking for a nade. Because realistically, you're kind of baiting them in this sort of long ass corridor for your back window or for your back angle.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I even thought about stopping the heals on the Zarya
so they
to
don't know
not
where you're
show that I
at.
was there,
Right, yeah.
but she was so low that I'm like, kind of like I can't.
I think that yeah, I don't fully again blame you for that necessarily. Um, but yeah, obviously those kills fights I only really do again if you're at a significant disadvantage and there's no possible way you're gonna win the next fight unless you do something very risky.
And here I'm calling out the cast on the right, cast on the right.
Yeah, sure, fine, yeah. Nice. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna cry. Nade and sleep there. I'm not gonna cry about it too much. Of course, Nade would have been nice to hit the Winston there. A little bit more patience, and then of course maybe a tiny bit more patience or discipline on the Winston, but nothing crazy.
To be fair, I'm playing a Diamond 4, so these guys. I shouldn't probably not say this, but because I'm in that elo, but they don't understand like that Zarya. If you go back a little bit, I mean, there's no
Bottom.
reason. There's no reason for her to move out. She wins that duel 100 times out of 100, and you see her going back. You know
Right, yeah.
that that
Um,
the only reason I did that is like go. Why are you afraid? Like go. That's kind of like what I'm trying to say with that nade.
yeah. So I actually, it's funny you kind of not just mentioned that, but I had a player another time too, whose performance like whenever he got like decent teammates. So maybe again in this game, you got a Zarya who did actually want to walk in bubble and know how far she could push the character. Um, they would play better if they had better teammates because they would change their play style drastically if they had bad teammates. And in other words, like it's actually it was flexible too. It was on Baptiste. And they would not take any angles. They would waste their cooldowns. They would not think about the next fight, about how to plan or where to move or whatever the case may be, because they were so obsessed, or not even obsessed, but just thinking about the incompetency of their teammates. I'm not sure if you like think about your teammates while you're playing the game, like while you're in the actual match itself. But yeah, I think the main thing is just disconnecting how your teammates play from how you play, because I actually now I've seen it from that guy, and now even now to a lesser extent, it's something that I see a few players do, because I'm sure you're gonna play better if you've got better teammates. Like you're gonna be less obsessed about them, or you're gonna make certain plays, or you're gonna use your cooldowns in a certain way depending on how your teammates move. But yeah, okay, we'll see here. Okay, sure. Oh, why another boost stats?
Sorry.
What was the intention behind that nano boost?
The nano boost was because she was well, two reasons. One, I was very uncomfortable with my position compared to her, and I wanted to get the kill and secure. I see there's 2 or 3 people in front of her,
Right.
and basically she's gonna go into a place where I can not see her. I want her to get the heals, but I also want to secure the kill on the Winston, basically.
Right. Interesting. I think there's like two things to that, because, and I think it all relates to aggression, right? So you mentioned that you feel uncomfortable here, but I'm looking at my screen right now and I'm seeing a low HP Winston. I have high charge Zarya, and you're actually pretty fine here. Like I don't see any sort of flanker coming at you. I don't hear any flanker coming at you. So right now I don't think the aggression that you are about to take or are taking is actually fairly low. And I think if you're that scared about someone peeking this angle here, of course you can just rotate and move away, and you'll be fine. Second thing is confirming the kill and the fact that you might not be able to see your Zarya if you do want to move. How much aggression is your Zarya taking?
Uh, I mean, she's got. I can see 2 people, and I know there's people on the sides. So
Right.
I think basically quite aggressive. But I don't see it.
You sort of assume by object permanence, right? So
Assume it. Yeah,
I
assume
I
it.
I I think the thing here is like Winston's so low, like he's either going to die or pop primal or jump away, whatever the case may be. I think if Winston pop primal, then I'd be a little bit concerned, and then I'd be like, okay, maybe now I need to use nano boost. But your Bap's right there. He can definitely see your Zarya within LOS. Zarya's
Yeah.
absolutely winning this duel, no shadow of a doubt. And if you see Zarya's HP like go down really quickly, or you see like bullets coming from the high ground here on the left side, you see right side, sorry, you see bullets coming down there, then I think nano boosting that is fine, right? But here to me at least, it looks like this nano boost is a little bit preemptive, or the aggression doesn't match the nano boost is what I'll say to summarize it basically.
Okay.
Where it's like, yeah, I mean that Winston just doesn't forgets that he's got a Q on his keyboard. But yeah, to me that's not worth the nano boost there. But yeah. Inadvertently, it may have actually caused the Winston to die a little bit faster, so maybe he just he forgot to press Q. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. He didn't. He thought he had more time, but then he got nanoed, and
Maybe yeah.
it's all studied. It's all studied.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing I say here is after you get stuff nano, the basic go away. Just walk forward here and go underneath because you've got nano boost, right? So you're fine. I'll just fully out rotate and fully move up. But yeah. Any time, especially on Colosseo attack and you're attacking this point, any time that you get, like any free time or free rotation that you get to walk up and push your advantage, you need to take it because this is really hard to attack on characters that don't have verticality. And of course, while you're rotating, you can heal your Baptiste, your Symmetra, etc, etc. Okay, we'll see here.
So here, was that a good rotation or?
Oh, so like, so what you're doing right now is a little bit too late. Of course, your Bap's a little bit late here, right? But right now, like when you got the stuff nano, like a little bit earlier, I would have just kept walking forward, like just charge forward and heal, look backwards and heal your team if they need healing, of course. And then of course you can shoot upwards if someone's there, right? Of course you can.
So not go left and forward, just go forward.
Or you can go here. The point being is it doesn't necessarily really matter. Is my point here. I just want you to move forward underneath this building and get under this high grounds. You can bunker in here, or you can out rotate and then move up here, and this becomes a lot nicer of a position to play, compared to again way back over here. You're doing it. Yeah, you and your Baptiste are a little bit slow on this rotation. It's not gonna kill you either. It's not gonna kill either of you though. That's something worth mentioning. Okay. Okay, you're about to split. Okay.
I'm calling.
Yeah,
I'm telling them to come up.
Come up,
basically.
right. And you're making the correct call. I don't want to like gaslight you and say you're not making the correct call here. You're doing the wrong thing necessarily. It's a very like it's a ranked team play thing, and I think if you see a Baptiste stay underneath, whatever the case may be, I will just stay underneath with him. Is it the correct play to move up? Yes, it is. Right, like you are making the correct play to do. But I'd rather you guys play together instead of playing splits. And then having to do some botched rotation for him to try and reach you or for you to try and reach him. Again, it's something that's pretty common in Masters, people getting split on rotations. But I'll just stick with your Baptiste, really, if he's not moving. But yeah. Okay. Alright. Okay. Zeph, so you die there because the disconnect or the miscommunication, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. We'll see in the next fight. Okay. One person. Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay. Sure. Nader is actually fine, and you just missed the placement, obviously, right? But Nader, in principle, is more than reasonable. Sim pops down your wall, Sim's aggressing on Soldier, and Nader could be great. So I'm actually happy with that, Nader. I'm okay with this. In principle. Okay. So this is a nice exercise I like doing. I'm glad that I finally found an opportunity to do it. I'm going to draw a box over your character. Right about here. I'm going to see how long you stay here for. I'm going to 2x it. So when do you get it? So we'll say like 724. We'll say 25. 726, sure, 726. How long do you stay in that box, roughly? Okay. Nice, start moving. So about 10 seconds or so, or maybe a little bit over 10 seconds, you actually stay behind this van or this caravan, whatever, for a decent amount of time, and it causes your Symmetra to die. Where obviously should you rotate to away from this box caravan?
Honestly, I was very lost in the fight. I didn't know where people were. I know that my
Interesting. Okay.
bump was all the way back left, and like I know that there's a soldier on the right, but beyond that, I'm like, where is everyone? I didn't have any information on that, so I knew everything. Everybody was like being aggressive, but
Right. And this is where that spot thing I think is gonna be really important, because right now you're currently in the absorb stage, as on this frame or the screenshot, right? You're currently absorbing the Winston pressure. Your Sim's doing something. Your Bap's playing back as well. Your Zara's as you can see, bubbling, trying to live. You're currently absorbing this dive cycle in quotation marks. So you can stay for now. I'm okay with it for now. You're not being directly pressured. You want to help out your Zarya. I'm okay with this, right? But it's after your Zarya lives and after the bubble breaks, now is like, okay, I need to move, right? Now you're looking to rotate. Of course, if Ap's low HP here, right? So maybe I can give him a body shot or two. But now is like, okay, you need to move. And right now, I'll look at what your Sim's doing, what your frontline are doing basically, and moving up in accordance with them. So obviously, from here, if you want to be, forget your team for a moment, right? But if you want to be aggressive, where do you want to move to?
next to to be honest, almost here, because if I go to the far right, I'm face to face with a soldier. Yeah, maybe go with my Sim and try to kill the soldier. Go behind the soldier on the right.
Right, so there's a few options here, and obviously some of them aren't very viable, right? So this one takes too long, obviously. Can't do that one. This
Yeah,
one,
no.
obviously, Winston can jump you, so that's not great either,
No.
and you're in open space too, right? So your only
And
other
the Chris is
option
right.
is to either be here. It depends specifically where you walk to, so again, you might have to change your micro based on where Soldier's playing, and the Sim will hit too, right? But the bottom line is walk here, and then either go from here to here, or go from here to here. Either one's fine, right? And then you would have been able to help your Symmetra. Because now, regardless of what's happening, you need to walk up and do something. Like now's your time to be aggressive. Now's your time to take an angle, shoot some people, right, and do stuff. And there's also a second benefit to this. It's not just to help your Symmetra, and not just to obviously get value yourself, right? But you're also moving away from the Winston, especially if you're doing this rotation around the right side. You're out rotating the Winston in quotation marks. So that would have been quite nice to do as well. I think part of it might be down to the micro about not hitting your honor nade here previously, so you might feel a little bit scared to push soldier. And obviously things are commonly around you. But of course, I think the big visual cue, or the big visual cue, is the Winston bubble breaking, as well as again what your Symmetra is doing. Those are the two things that I'm really focused on, because those are the aggressive bits of the fight. Your Sim's by far the most aggressive person, and the bubble is by far the most scary, aggressive cooldown that the enemy team have generally. And that's the thing I'm really looking for. I think it would have been great to move up right side here.
Okay.
And yeah, you even see your Zarya walk here as well. Right, Sim actually clears the soldier here. Now is the time. This is the time. This is the time to walk.
Here, if I didn't have my bastion on the left, I would have definitely gone right. But I remember like my bastion is in turret form and he's being aggressive.
Right, and again, I think that comes down to like you can take this angle here.
Yeah, I could have just gone right
and
here,
still look at him. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing when your Baptiste was like critical here a moment ago when he was critical HP on the sideline. Like you can heal him while you're moving. Like it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And coaches as well, like they like to call this dynamic positioning, which basically just means don't stay static in one place, which is why I like doing the little box because it shows static positioning. But yeah, okay, we'll see here. Okay. And now the fight's gonna be pretty much over. So essentially,
he's gonna primal here.
Primal here, yeah. You had your window to like push the enemy team when you had your advantage, and now that window's over. and now they're gonna use the ults back. There's a little graph I like drawing whenever I sort of showed how the dive cycles work. We'll use this wall. Alright, this is time. This is power.
I like that you use a wall for that.
Yeah. And this is how I will draw blue for that team. Their comp kind of looks like this, and it comes in waves. And this is, and again, you can link back to the whole spar thing, right? So this is your comp here as well. Draw it like this. Right? It's a bit oversimplified, but the point being, you'll see what I mean. This bit here is the whole prevent thing. This bit here is the absorb thing. Absorb. And then of course this bit here is rotate / prevent again. And if you don't get value here, which again is where your sim died, it's gonna be really tough, as you can see, because now we're back here again, where Visor, Kitsune, and Primal's been popped, and it's gonna be extremely hard to live that, obviously. Now the good news, at least for this game, is they definitely overaltered this. So next fight you should win. Pretty much, hopefully. But yeah, potentially win that fight with that window of time. But yeah, okay. If you lose this fight though, it's gonna be very rough. They're gonna leave it like that. Okay, Nate's fine. I don't mind that. Okay. Okay. So it's the whole spar thing is again coming back to play here. So you hit the nade onto the Ana. That's fine, right? In fact, the enemy dive team, the Winston, he's currently out at the moment. He's doing whatever. You have a short window of time to kill Ana, right? Your cask booked up, doesn't quite get the kill. Right about now is where I'd be backing up. I'd be S-keying out right now to create distance and try and live the enemy dive. Because right about now is where, again, you can see Sojin peeking you, Wins is going to come back and try and jump you, or not even you necessarily, but your Cassie as well. Now it's the time to do that. I think that greed there on the soldier is potentially what's going to end up maybe killing you. We'll see. Yes, it's like
I died. Yeah, I mean I get body blocked by the
Winston, yeah.
Winston.
And you have certain windows of time to get value, and if you don't get a value, in that case it was the kill. Previous fight it was your sim getting value. You're going to end up dying soon afterwards. Okay, we'll see here. 90 meter lead. This is gonna look like pretty much game over from now on. Okay, we'll see. Okay, so it's bugging out a little bit. Okay, let's just nade again here. I think the intention there was like I think helping your Baptiste there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate that. I think that's fairly reasonable. This LOS in you as well. Sure. Fine. Okay. That's really unfortunate.
I tell her to go back. She doesn't go back. Yeah.
Right. So this is again. It's not the worst case of static positioning that I've seen, but it's like if you see, especially if you see Ozara taking the brunt of the aggression, I'd at least walk up again, maybe through here or even through here would have been fine. Right.
I actually didn't know there was a door there.
Oh well, now I guess now you do, right? But again, even here would have been reasonable. Just based off the aggression that you're taking, I think I would have been fine to do. Okay. Let's see here. Maybe a bit of a messy fight here. Okay. Okay. Nade's okay. Humming's of it is fine. Sure. Fine. One thing there is I'd be a little bit careful if someone does actually run through the stairs here and tries to helix you and he tries to kill you. Only thing I'd be slightly a bit more conscious of, really. But barring that, I think everything else was really fine. Okay. Up a little bit. Fine. Okay, fine. I want to help you Baptiste there, sadly. Okay.
Yeah, he got upset at me. He's like, you couldn't heal me there?
I mean, I'm just putting up bits of microphone to see. Right, it's probably a communicational thing because, but when you walk in the bubble, he's walking out of it. So again, I think either AFK here and then pray he's gonna walk out of it, or both of you communicate on the same page and be like, you know what, we're gonna stand in bubble, we're gonna brawl this guy, and we're gonna win. Again, it's a slight communicational thing. I'm not gonna cry about it. Same thing to like the rotation we saw on their side of the map. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. The next fight's gonna be hard to win. That's gonna be last fight. We'll see here. Okay.
That's good for my DPS dies early there.
Yeah, it's really, really rough. Yeah, you get forced to nano boost there. You have to kind of nano boost that. Okay. It's fine. Okay. Okay. And not really a better angle you can really take. The only thing I can really say for angle in terms of angles you can take is maybe walking up here while your Winston is doing things. Again, that might be slightly risky because obviously Arnis is nano boosted here, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You need to kind of make a risky play to win this fight anyways. But yeah, it's like this fight's gonna be extremely tough to win. They have 5 ults, so and you're forced to use nano boost really early. Okay, yeah, Visor, Kitsune, OC comes out. Okay. Bit rough there. Yeah. Okay, we'll see. We'll do a quick summary on the wall. And then I'll answer any questions you may have. And yeah, we'll do that then. Okay, we'll use this wall here. Okay. First thing. Okay, let me just go a quick recall. Cause I think some bits of micro were a little bit impatient. I think there's some bits of micro that could be improved if you're playing into D.Va. So some CD timings that were early. But I think, I guess the big thing that I'm looking for, I guess is, I'll say dynamic positioning. Yeah, I'll say that. I'll say dynamic positioning, and I'll elaborate more on that as well. So, there's like a few factors to this. I think the most important one specific to you is you forget that you can be aggressive or you can take an angle and still keep LOS to your teammates. So some examples of that would have been again the Zarya a little bit earlier on high ground, while your team were clearing the Lucio Sombra. Okay. What else to that as well? Oh yeah, also spar thing.
The Symmetra.
Yeah, specifically the rotates with Symmetra. And also keeping in mind of like the windows of time of when walk up. Okay. Second thing I'll say is I'll say patience with cooldown. With cooldowns, either the timing, e.g., teammates might be too far.
Yeah, this one I think I do often. Like
yeah,
I nade like a couple of seconds too early.
Yeah, and then sometimes D.Va also ate it as well when you did toss it in too early. 8 early. And
yeah,
then...
that one I wouldn't count it. You're being mean.
Um,
we're up 2 when she ate it.
Yeah, I think that might have been I don't exactly remember that might have been the fights. No, yeah, I think it. Yeah, because I think I remember back now. But also against just Winston in general as well. I'll write this. Against Winston, just keeping sleep, bubble early. Let's keep in mind if you're on Winston's POV, like, and you see an Ana and you jump on Ana and she's still asleep dot, you're scared as shit if you're Winston there, because if you get slept, you are dead. So like you actually have the card. It's actually in your advantage in theory, or you've got the card, so to say. You can play that pretty much how you can want it to. The second you sleep dot though, and if you miss it, it really swings heavily in the Winston's favor. also mentioned here against Hazard as well, but it's not, we didn't see the Hazard here. But something that Hazards like to do in higher elo is walling themselves up. Walling themselves upwards to block sleep dart. So you'll accidentally sleep dart a wall instead of the Hazard because he'll wall himself up from the ground upwards. Something that again Donghack and other Hazard players do. So just bear in mind for that as well. It's a similar thing to Bubble actually, because wall is going to be the main way for Hazard to block sleep darts. So something to keep in mind there, even though we didn't see Hazard this game obviously. And then last, is there anything else I want to mention there as well? Was that...
Oh, wait, don't clear. I'm taking screenshots.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and the third thing, I would just say like visual and audio progression. So some examples of that. Again, I only saw one example of Nade, but then the Nano Boost fight is again important of that too. Fights. Or again, I don't want to say HP is always right. Okay, I'll say this. I'll say bear. Also, keep in mind the aggro teammates making not just
HP.
bursts of aggro and HP, yeah. Aggro / HP. It's something that's it's not even specific to Ana necessarily. Like when I would coach Genji, it's really important when they're playing into Castle Sojourn because they can be full HP, but if they get headshot hit by Cassidy, flashbanged, they're pretty much good as dead. And that's something that's really important on that character specifically. I'll set myself a reminder. So there's a video about it, or it was a part of a video about it, by Capitology, on visual aggro. I'll timestamp it and link it to you because he goes over some examples that show what I'm kind of referring to. But yeah. What else to that as well? Of course, yeah, the nade as well. Of course, if you're getting jumped by Winston, like you'd actually did get like a really nice nade. I think 2 fights prior, like your Castle's high nooning, and you naded him when obviously the Winston jumped or was about to land fully. That was a really good nade. Because he's gonna blow up and die afterwards. Because again, Bubble is an insane peak of aggression that sustains over a few seconds. So that nade was really good, and more nades like that needs to happen. Rather than again, someone tanks Helix or someone gets body shot by Widowmaker, or they tank a body shot by a Hanzo Arrow, or some half like 100 HP damage thing happens. Like that's a burst of aggression, but they're not going to die for it. So that's also important to keep in mind. And I think that might be the last main thing. Yeah. I'll say this as well. You can screenshot in a moment.
Yeah, I did it. Thanks.
Cool. I'll say the bonus thing is with links back into the first point about rotating, or clearing, which in fairness you did do pretty well. Like I think there were moments like the cast fight. The reason why you didn't sort of go with or clear the Lucio Sombra was because you were scared of your Zarya. But there were times where you cleared Sombra well because someone was playing badly. And there were also times where you didn't clear an angle because they weren't clearable. It was too dangerous to clear them. So yeah, something to keep in mind as well. Between these two choices. Generally, the main things I say is it dangerous to clear someone, and is it easy to clear someone? Those are the 2 main things about whether it's reasonable to clear someone, as well as the character that's being cleared. For example, like a Lucio, who no one cares. It's a Lucio. To a lesser extent, Mei also is involved in that too. But yeah, I'll say the hero that being. But yeah, links back into the thing about rotating because again, and the dynamic positioning as well. But yeah, those are the main 3 things. Any questions, queries, or yeah?
Any questions? No, no. No, I'm really in a downward spiral right now. I think if I look at my win loss, I'm probably at like 4-24 or something like that. It's like something crazy. I don't know how to stop it because I get your comments but I mean I don't see big mistakes. I see minor tweaks. Um, and I'm wondering if I should just stop playing Ana and should play something else because I do feel like some of the nades are pretty good and they should win fights, but yeah, I'm just losing game after game after game after game. And even like the ones that I win, we should be winning like 3-0 and we end up winning 3-2 on overtime, kind of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I guess like the main thing I normally say is often the time like there's this thing called proportionality bias, which essentially to boil it down, about what it means is people often think that big problems require big solutions. That's not always the case. And of course you've got a big problem right now. You're going on a big loss streak, right? But often a lot of the time, fights or games will be dictated by one or two things by each individual player. So like for example, the moment where you forgot to heal your sim or didn't rotate to heal your sim, and you could have won that fight there. Or a fight where you could have maybe not used nano boost and kept for the next fight. Or a fight where you could have played a lot more chaotically. I mean, you did do that, right? But giving some examples potentially. Or where you're down a few ultimates, and you need to play really chaotically. Or a fight where you waste nade or you mistime it and you miss a big opportunity to get a good nade and that loses the fight. Because the reality is that you can play the game well for 90% of the match, but if you mess up a critical fight, or you forget to do something, or you miss a key opportunity, is what I often say as well. Rather than making an outright mistake, it can and will cost you a game. Especially on tank from my experience as well. Where one bad engagement can really set you in a spiral. Um, but but yeah. It's I know you and how you kind of feel because you'd kind of want that silver bullet thing about like the big thing you wish you could change about your gameplay to, you know,
Is like
climb.
loser, my question is like, is loser queue real? I mean, should I just turn off the PC and
I
and
yeah.
play the next
So
day?
if
Because
you lose,
honestly, it's it looks real. It looks like the game is telling me, "Fuck you, Koala. You're gonna lose every game if you keep playing." Like you should
I
uninstall and reinstall, almost like it's.
Yeah, I would if you lose two or more in a row, I'd probably stop playing the game. Is what I would do. Or at least like you lose two in a row, you do a quick self vod about why or the pivotal fights that you lost and why they might have happened and what you could have done about it, or things that led up to having a pivotal fight. I think I also say as well is if something gets to overtime and you lose the fight, losing an overtime fight doesn't really matter. It's the things that lead up to the overtime fight to begin with. Like why it should be ideally a clean fight win or a clean game win if you're playing the entire match properly. You shouldn't need to leave it down to some messy dogfight overtime fight, try and clutch it and win a game. Um, but 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 yeah. But of course, yeah, I would probably stop playing the game if you lose two in a row. And at least do a self VOD or take a break or whatever the case may be. Because as I kind of mentioned, you can get into like a downward spiral very quickly. Um, but yeah. Anything
Right.
else?
No, no, that's it.
Cool.
That's it.
Cool. No worries. No worries. I have also recorded the session too. So you can watch it back at your spare pace. I'll link that to you when it's done uploading. And I'll also remember to link to you the